Today we will talk about the organization of international business. The case of Philips illustrates the evolution of multinational companies over the past 40 years. Initially, Philips adopted a localization strategy with strong national organizations. However, by the 1990s, as trade barriers diminished, it shifted to a transnational strategy, developing standardized products like DVD players and MRI systems for global markets. This required a reorganization from national structures to global product divisions, a challenging process that took years. The chapter emphasizes the importance of organizational architecture, encompassing structure, control systems, incentives, processes, culture, and people in managing global operations. It argues that superior profitability relies on three key conditions. Internal consistency. All components of the organizational architecture must be aligned. Strategy alignment. The architecture must fit the firm's strategy. Mismatches can lead to poor performance. Market fit. The strategy and architecture must also align with competitive conditions in the market. The chapter explores these components in detail, focusing on how they must work together to enhance performance and how organizations may need to adapt in response to changing strategic and competitive landscapes, as exemplified by Philips's transition. Organizational architecture encompasses the entire structure of a firm, including formal organizational structure, control systems and incentives, organizational culture, processes, and people. These elements are interconnected and influence each other. Organizational structure refers to the formal division of the firm into subunits, e.g., product divisions, functions, the centralization or decentralization of decision-making, and the establishment of integrating mechanisms, e.g., cross-functional teams, to coordinate activities. Control systems and incentives. Control systems are metrics for assessing subunit performance, while incentives reward managerial behaviors aligned with these metrics. For example, Unilever links subsidiary managers' incentives to profitability targets. Processes. These involve decision-making and work performance, such as strategy formulation and resource allocation. Processes differ from decision-making responsibility. For instance, a centralized strategy might still involve input from lower-level managers. Organizational culture represents the shared norms and values within the organization, akin to societal cultures. Culture significantly impacts performance and can be shaped through hiring practices that align individual values with organizational goals. People includes employees, recruitment, compensation strategies, and skills. Recruitment can reinforce culture by hiring individuals whose values align with the organization, as seen in Unilever's focus on sociable managers valuing consensus and cooperation. For optimal profitability, firms must ensure internal consistency among these components. For example, hiring practices should support and reflect the organization's desired culture. Organizational structure consists of three key dimensions. Vertical differentiation focuses on the location of decision-making responsibilities within the hierarchy. Decisions can be centralized, concentrated at upper management, or decentralized, delegated to lower-level managers. This includes decisions related to production, marketing, R&D, and strategy. Horizontal differentiation involves the formal division of the organization into subunits, such as departments, product divisions, or geographic regions. Integrating mechanisms, tools and processes used to coordinate activities among subunits to ensure alignment and collaboration. Vertical differentiation specifically addresses whether decision-making power is centralized or decentralized, with both approaches offering distinct advantages depending on the firm's needs. Centralization in organizations serves four primary purposes. Firstly, it aids in coordination, such as ensuring a smooth flow of products between different operational units by centralizing activities like production scheduling at the headquarters. Secondly, centralization helps maintain consistency with organizational goals by preventing lower-level managers from making decisions that conflict with top management objectives. Thirdly, it empowers top-level managers to drive major organizational changes by concentrating power and authority within a single individual or management team. Lastly, centralization reduces duplication of efforts by consolidating activities like R&D and production at key locations, thus improving efficiency and avoiding redundant work across various subunits. Decentralization provides 5 key benefits. Reduces top management burden. Delegating routine decisions to lower-level managers frees top management to focus on critical issues, improving decision quality. Enhances motivation. Employees are more motivated and engaged when they have greater autonomy and control over their work. Increases flexibility. Decentralization enables quicker responses to environmental changes, since decisions can be made without lengthy hierarchical approvals. Improves decision quality. Decisions made closer to the operational level are often better informed due to proximity to relevant information and context. Strengthens accountability. Establishing autonomous subunits with decision-making authority allows subunit managers to be held accountable for their performance, fostering better control and fewer excuses for poor outcomes. The decision between centralization and decentralization in organizations is not absolute and depends on the type of decision and the firm's strategy. Key decisions like firm strategy, major financial expenditures, financial objectives, and legal matters are typically centralized at the headquarters. On the other hand, operational decisions related to production, marketing, R&D, and human resources may be centralized or decentralized based on the firm's strategy. For firms pursuing a global standardization strategy, centralization is often necessary to coordinate value creation activities globally, such as deciding on the locations for R&D, production, and marketing activities. In contrast, firms following a localization strategy tend to decentralize operational decisions to foreign subsidiaries to enhance local responsiveness. Those pursuing an international strategy often centralize control over core competencies like R&D at home, but decentralize other decisions to foreign subsidiaries, like Microsoft decentralizing marketing activities. For firms pursuing a transnational strategy, a hybrid approach is necessary. Centralized control over global production centers is needed for economies of scale, while decentralized decisions, especially in marketing, are crucial for local responsiveness. Global learning through the exchange of skills between subsidiaries and the corporate center is vital, requiring a significant degree of decentralization to allow subsidiaries the freedom to develop their competencies and contribute to the organization's overall success. Horizontal differentiation in organizations involves how a firm divides itself into subunits based on function, type of business, or geographical area. While some firms primarily emphasize one of these factors, more complex arrangements are common, especially in multinational corporations, where balancing product-focused organization for economies of scale and market-focused organization for local responsiveness is crucial. In the evolution of domestic firms, they typically start informally and are managed by a single entrepreneur or a small team. As they expand, functional divisions such as production, marketing, R&D, and sales are established and overseen by top management with centralized decision-making. Further horizontal differentiation becomes necessary as firms diversify into different business areas. Transitioning to a product divisional structure, like Philips did with divisions for lighting, consumer electronics, industrial electronics, and medical systems, allows for better coordination and control by decentralizing operational decisions to the divisions while maintaining strategic oversight and financial control at the headquarters. When firms expand internationally, they often create an international division to manage global operations, which is typically organized by geography. This structure is common for firms with either functional or product-based divisional domestic structures. Initially, firms may export products manufactured domestically to foreign subsidiaries, but as they expand, they may establish local production facilities in each country. However, this international division structure can lead to several problems. Hierarchical inequality. Foreign subsidiary managers have less influence compared to heads of domestic functions or divisions, as the head of the international division represents all countries to headquarters. This undermines the multinational strategy by limiting the autonomy of foreign managers. Coordination issues. Domestic and foreign operations are isolated, which hinders the global introduction of new products, sharing of core competencies, and achieving economies of scale from consolidating production. Due to these issues, many firms eventually transition to worldwide structures. Worldwide product divisional structure, adopted by diversified firms with domestic product divisions. Worldwide area structure, used by undiversified firms with a functional structure. These changes aim to improve coordination and integration across global operations, as outlined in the International Structural Stages model by John Stopford and Louis Wells. A worldwide area structure is typically favored by firms with low diversification and a domestic functional structure. In this setup, the world is divided into geographic areas, each functioning as a self-contained entity with decentralized decision-making authority for operational activities. Headquarters retains control over overall strategy and financial matters, promoting local responsiveness, but potentially hindering global standardization benefits due to organizational fragmentation. While suitable for a localization strategy, this structure may impede core competency transfer and economies of scale. On the other hand, a worldwide product divisional structure is common among diversified firms with domestic product divisions. Each division operates autonomously, responsible for its value creation activities globally. This structure aims to enhance coordination across divisions, facilitating core competency transfer, global product launches, and efficient consolidation of activities for economies of scale. However, it can limit the influence of area managers, potentially reducing local responsiveness and leading to performance challenges. The worldwide area structure and worldwide product divisional structure each have distinct advantages and limitations. The area structure enhances local responsiveness, allowing for customized strategies in different regions, but it struggles with realizing location and experience curve economies and transferring core competencies. The product divisional structure better supports these economies and core competency transfer, but lacks local responsiveness. For firms pursuing a transnational strategy, which aims to balance these objectives, a matrix structure has been proposed. This structure combines both product divisions and geographic areas in decision-making. However, in practice, the matrix often becomes bureaucratic and inefficient, with excessive meetings, slow decision-making, and conflicts between divisions and areas. The dual hierarchy can lead to accountability issues, as managers may blame each other for failures, undermining control and accountability. To address these challenges, some firms have adopted flexible matrix structures, emphasizing informal management networks and a shared company culture over rigid hierarchies. This approach aims to improve flexibility and coordination without the drawbacks of traditional matrix systems. The need for coordination within international firms varies based on their strategies. Firms pursuing a localization strategy prioritize local responsiveness and often operate with a worldwide area structure, minimizing the need for coordination between areas. In contrast, firms following an international strategy, global strategy, or transnational strategy require increasing levels of coordination to support core competency transfers, location and experience curve economies, and global learning. International firms focusing on global standardization strategies must coordinate dispersed value creation activities worldwide to ensure efficient product flows. Transnational firms, aiming for multi-directional core competency transfers and local responsiveness, demand the highest level of coordination across all subunits and global activities. Coordination in these firms is crucial to customize product offerings and marketing strategies to local conditions, while maintaining the smooth flow of products through the global value chain. In multinational enterprises, coordination between subunits can be hindered by differences in managers' orientations, goals, and communication styles. For example, production managers focus on cost control, while marketing managers prioritize market share, leading to potential conflicts and ineffective communication. These challenges are amplified by geographic and cultural differences. To address coordination issues, firms use a range of formal integrating mechanisms that increase in complexity based on the coordination needs. Direct contact, the simplest method, where managers from different subunits contact each other as needed. Liaison roles, a more structured approach where a designated individual in each subunit coordinates with another subunit regularly to improve communication. Teams, temporary or permanent teams composed of members from different subunits to manage joint projects, such as product development or marketing. Matrix structure, a complex structure combining multiple dimensions, such as geographic areas and product divisions, to integrate subunits at a high level. This structure facilitates both local responsiveness and global integration, but can be bureaucratic and prone to conflicts. Matrix structures, while theoretically effective, can become inflexible and lead to power struggles and inefficiencies. To make such structures work, firms often rely on informal integrating mechanisms, such as shared culture and knowledge networks, to complement the formal structure and foster cooperation. Firms seeking to overcome challenges associated with formal integrating mechanisms, particularly matrix structures, are exploring informal integrating mechanisms such as knowledge networks. These networks rely on a culture valuing teamwork and cross-unit collaboration, facilitating information exchange within an organization through informal contacts and distributed information systems. Knowledge networks allow managers across different locations to connect indirectly, enabling the sharing of expertise and solutions informally. By leveraging these networks, managers can coordinate effectively without relying on formal structures like teams or matrices. To ensure the effectiveness of knowledge networks, it is crucial to involve a wide range of managers. Companies are utilizing information systems and management development programs to establish these networks, leveraging technology for communication and fostering connections through managerial rotations and educational initiatives. However, for knowledge networks to succeed in promoting coordination, managers must align their subunit goals with overarching company objectives. A shared commitment to organizational norms and values is essential for managers to prioritize collective goals over individual subunit interests, fostering cooperation and problem-solving across the organization. Firms employ control and incentive systems to ensure subunits align with overall strategic and financial goals. Various control systems, including personal, bureaucratic, output, and cultural controls, are utilized, with their emphasis varying based on the firm's strategy. Personal controls involve direct supervision and personal contact with subordinates. Common in small firms, personal control also structures relationships in multinational enterprises. For instance, CEOs may exert personal control through one-on-one meetings to influence top managers and their strategies. Bureaucratic controls employ systems of rules and procedures to direct subunit actions. Budgets and capital spending rules are crucial bureaucratic controls in multinational firms. Budgets allocate financial resources and influence subunit behavior, while capital spending rules require headquarters approval for significant expenditures, allowing control over how funds are utilized to align with firm objectives. Output controls involve setting specific, objective performance goals for subunits, measured through metrics like profitability, productivity, growth, market share, and quality. Subunit managers are evaluated based on their ability to meet these goals, with rewards for success and potential corrective actions from top management if goals are not met. The goals assigned vary depending on the subunit's role. For example, product divisions focus on profitability and market share, while functions like R&D and production have goals tailored to their specific activities. Goals are typically negotiated between subunits and headquarters to ensure they are challenging yet realistic, promoting operational improvement without encouraging dysfunctional behavior. This system fosters management by exception, allowing subunits to operate independently as long as they meet their targets, but prompting intervention from headquarters when performance falls short. Cultural controls are established when employees internalize the norms and values of the organization, leading to self-regulation and reducing the need for direct supervision. In firms with a strong culture, self-control can supplement or even replace other control systems. McDonald's exemplifies this through actively promoting organizational values, treating franchisees and suppliers as partners, and demonstrating a long-term commitment through tangible support, such as providing capital and management assistance. By integrating franchisees and suppliers into its culture, McDonald's fosters a commitment among them to contribute to the company's success. Consequently, McDonald's can focus less on controlling franchisees and suppliers, benefiting from a shared commitment to mutual success. Incentives are mechanisms used to reward employee behavior, often in the form of annual bonuses tied to performance metrics, such as profitability. These incentives aim to motivate employees to exceed set targets, with compensation linked to specific goals they can influence. For instance, factory workers might receive bonuses based on their team's output and quality, while senior managers are rewarded according to broader operational metrics. Effective strategy execution in multinational firms often requires cooperation between managers from different subunits, which can be encouraged by linking incentives to the overall profitability of the firm. Additionally, incentive systems must be adapted to fit national cultures and legal frameworks, as what works in one country may not be effective or permissible in another. Finally, managers should be wary of unintended consequences. Poorly designed incentive systems can lead to undesirable behaviors, like prioritizing quantity over quality in production. Performance ambiguity arises when the reasons behind a subunit's poor performance are unclear, particularly in cases of high interdependence between subunits within an organization. This ambiguity can complicate control and decision-making processes, increasing costs and diverting attention from other issues. In the context of international strategy, the level of interdependence between subunits impacts performance ambiguity. In a localization strategy, where each national operation functions independently, ambiguity is low. In contrast, global standardization and transnational strategies involve higher interdependence, leading to increased performance ambiguity. Global firms with interconnected value creation activities face significant interdependencies, while transnational firms, emphasizing multidirectional core competency transfers, experience the highest levels of performance ambiguity due to complex interdependencies and joint decision-making processes, creating opportunities for finger-pointing in cases of poor performance. The costs of control in an organization, defined as the time top management spends monitoring subunits, increase with higher performance ambiguity, which occurs when a subunit's success is dependent on others. While low performance ambiguity allows managers to use output controls and management by exception, high ambiguity complicates this approach, requiring more time to resolve issues, thus raising control costs. This creates a paradox for transnational strategies, which are beneficial for maximizing profits, but also entail higher control costs due to interdependencies among subunits. Similarly, global standardization strategies face increased control costs despite their potential cost benefits. To mitigate these challenges, firms often rely on cultural controls that foster alignment with organizational values, encouraging cooperation among interdependent managers and reducing blame shifting. Additionally, linking incentive systems to higher organizational levels can help lessen conflicts between subunits, promoting collaboration and improving overall effectiveness in the face of performance ambiguity. Processes which dictate how decisions are made and work is executed within organizations exist at various levels and encompass areas such as strategy formulation, resource allocation, product evaluation, and quality improvement. Efficient processes can enhance value creation and reduce costs, as exemplified by the success of Japanese manufacturers in the 1980s through practices like total quality management and just-in-time inventory systems. Companies like General Electric leverage processes such as Six Sigma and digitalization to boost productivity and quality. Many processes require cross-functional collaboration, particularly in multinational enterprises, where they span organizational and national boundaries, necessitating a culture of cooperation and formal mechanisms to facilitate coordination. Moreover, valuable processes can emerge from local subsidiaries and contribute to competitive advantages across the organization. For instance, Hewlett-Packard's Japanese operation pioneered total quality management, which the company later integrated into its global practices, highlighting the importance of both creating and leveraging effective processes through knowledge networks and integrating mechanisms. Chapter 4 explores the concept of culture as a social construct applicable to both nation-states and organizations, including subcultures within them. Organizational culture encompasses shared values and norms, which guide behavior and decision-making among members. Founders and influential leaders significantly shape this culture. For instance, Konosuke Matsushita's values are still taught to new employees at his company. Additionally, the broader social culture of a nation affects organizational culture, as seen in the competitive individualism of American firms versus the cooperative ethos in Japanese companies. The historical context of an organization also plays a crucial role in shaping its culture, exemplified by Philips Electronics' emphasis on autonomy stemming from its wartime experiences. Maintaining organizational culture involves mechanisms like hiring practices, reward systems, socialization processes, and communication strategies that reinforce core values. These elements work together to ensure that new employees align with the organization's culture, often illustrated through stories and symbols that highlight key principles, such as 3M's emphasis on innovation and the freedom to explore new ideas. Management authors often discuss strong cultures, where managers share consistent values impacting work. New hires quickly adopt these values, and those not fitting in tend to leave. In such cultures, even new executives can be corrected by subordinates for violating norms. However, strong doesn't always mean good. A strong but bad culture can exist. For instance, General Motors had a dysfunctional strong culture in the 1980s. Context matters. What works well in one period may hinder performance later. Adaptive cultures, caring deeply about stakeholders and fostering useful change, tend to lead to sustained high performance. A firm's culture should align with its strategy and competitive environment for superior performance. Lincoln Electric exemplifies how culture can drive success, but replicating a home culture in foreign subsidiaries can be challenging. Solutions include starting new subsidiaries, transmitting culture carefully, and adapting to local norms. A common culture across a multinational's subsidiaries can aid coordination and cooperation, particularly for firms pursuing transnational strategies. Multinational firms pursuing a localization strategy prioritize responsiveness to local markets. They typically adopt a worldwide area structure where decision-making is decentralized to self-contained country subsidiaries. This approach minimizes the need for coordination and integration between subunits, resulting in low interdependence and reduced performance ambiguity. Key characteristics include low need for integration mechanisms. Both formal and informal coordination are minimal. Control mechanisms. Headquarters relies on output and bureaucratic controls, with management by exception. Incentive structure. Performance metrics focus on individual country subsidiaries. Low reliance on common processes or organizational culture. Integration across units is not emphasized. While this strategy simplifies organizational complexity, it limits the firm's ability to benefit from location and experience curve economies or transfer core competencies. Firms pursuing an international strategy aim to create value by transferring core competencies, primarily from their R&D and marketing functions, to foreign subsidiaries. Typically, these diverse firms adopt a worldwide product division structure, where headquarters retains centralized control over core competencies while decentralizing other operational decisions to country subsidiaries. The coordination needed is moderate, reflecting the necessity to transfer these competencies, leading to lower interdependence and performance ambiguity. As a result, firms can rely on output and bureaucratic controls, with a focus on performance metrics at the subsidiary level. While a common organizational culture is generally not essential, it becomes crucial when core competencies are deeply embedded in processes and culture. Overall, the complexity of managing an international strategy is greater than that of a localization strategy, but the increase is relatively modest. Firms employing a global standardization strategy aim to capitalize on location and experience curve economies, often operating under a worldwide product division structure, especially if diversified. These firms maintain centralized control over most operational decisions to effectively coordinate their globally dispersed value creation activities. This centralization necessitates a high degree of integration, leading to the implementation of various formal and informal mechanisms to manage interdependencies, which can create performance ambiguities. Consequently, in addition to output and bureaucratic controls, these firms emphasize cultivating a strong organizational culture to enhance coordination and cooperation. They typically utilize incentive systems tied to corporate-level performance metrics, encouraging collaboration across operations to improve overall corporate performance. Overall, the organizational complexity of firms with a global standardization strategy is greater than that of firms pursuing localization or international strategies. Firms that adopt a transnational strategy aim to achieve location and experience curve economies, while balancing local responsiveness and global learning through the multi-directional transfer of core competencies. They often utilize matrix structures, where both product divisions and geographic areas hold significant influence. This strategy necessitates a blend of centralization for certain decisions, such as production and R&D, and decentralization for others, particularly in marketing, to remain responsive to local markets. The high need for coordination results in a variety of formal and informal integrating mechanisms, including matrix structures and management networks. However, the interdependence of subunits can lead to performance ambiguities and increased control costs. To mitigate these challenges, transnational firms emphasize cultivating a strong organizational culture and establishing incentives that promote cooperation among their various units. Multinational firms often need to adapt their organizational architecture to align with changing competitive environments and strategies. Phillips in these adjustments in the 1990s illustrate this necessity. As the electronics industry shifted from localization to a global framework, organizational inertia stemming from power dynamics, established cultural values, managerial paradigms, and institutional constraints can hinder these changes. To overcome inertia, firms must implement a three-step process: unfreezing the organization, moving to a new state, and refreezing the organization. Unfreezing involves bold actions to disrupt existing structures and requires strong commitment from senior management to convey the need for change. Moving entails significant restructuring, reallocating responsibilities, and involving employees in the process to foster buy-in. Finally, refreezing solidifies the new culture through ongoing education and aligning hiring and incentive systems with the new strategic direction. Successful change demands persistence from leadership to ensure the new norms take hold and the organization does not revert to old practices.
Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to channel.